Namato Ratana Tayassa. May I pay homage to Triple Gem, the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. My respect goes to my parents and my teachers. Hello, good evening everyone. So today is Tuesday the 25th of August 2020, and this is Achan Sujan from Varapunya Meditation Center, Aberdeen, Scotland. So I'm here with you as usual, and first of all, my apologies. Yesterday I couldn't be with you all, and thank you everyone for your all messages and concern. Now I am feeling much better, although I'm still having a little sore head, but it's okay. Someone suggested me to take more warm drinks with if possible ginger and honey. So I'm feeling much better now compared to yesterday. In fact, I was feeling a little bit of headache from a few days, but yesterday thought that we'll have a wonderful day walking in around the Loch Mick, but it didn't happen as I thought. It was Michi's invasion caused me not to be there, so I came back and stayed in a car for some time, waiting for other members to join. So I had a little nap and I felt a little better, but the so-called migraine was still there. But on the way, before arriving the center, it was really terrible and sick, so I wasn't able to go on live, and so I just had a early nap and a rest. So now I'm feeling much better. Hello Sasir, Gimire from Dubai, Mano, Dr. Mano, David, thank you very much David, Margaret, Suresh, Karina and everyone. Thank you everyone for your concern and warm wishes. Yesterday was a beautiful day, so that's why we moved to go on to some little visit, and I was told at the center was a lovely day. So wish I would have stayed in the center rather than going to the miserable Loch Mick, caught up in rain as well as the Michis. But today from early morning we don't have any sunlight at all, apart from the water, pouring water and the wind. So it's another different day compared to yesterday. But I haven't checked up what's the weather like from tomorrow. So this is weather in Scotland which we cannot believe in. That's why there is a saying, you cannot believe in your work and weather in Scotland. It can change at any moment, any time, right? So work is the path, and it's always change. Weather also change here. So in relation to the continuation of the talk, I have started to speak on the right action, and on the Sunday evening I gave a background of what a right action is about. And I gave aspects of different ways to look at the action and why we do reactions, or how we do actions, and how thus how that leads us for the future, and also in here in the moment, the happiness. So when we look at the Buddha's teachings, or whole Buddha or Buddhism itself, we can see that right action, or Samma Kammanta, is regarded as one of the main factors of promoting the compassion, kindness, and security, and good personal relationship. Meanwhile, when we look at even further a little bit about the concept of a right action, or the kammanta, is more of not just in a form of basics, which is similar to 5 precepts, because in the 5 precepts, 3 out of 5 precepts, which starts off from the right, not to kill, and then the second is not to steal, and the third is not to have any sexual misconducts. So these 3 are the categories or components of a right action. But the difference is that in the 5 precepts, it's a training ground. In the 5 precepts, normally we say panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami, which means I observe the training of abstaining from killing. Now, whereas in the Eightfold Noble Path, which is the fourth factors of the Eightfold Noble Path, the Samma Kammanta, this is different. It's more detailed. It's not about the training ground anymore, but it is your duty to perform. So it's rather than panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami, it turns into panatipata veramani. Or rather than I observe the training of abstaining from killing, it becomes abstaining from killing, or basically practicing of non-harming or non-killing. And here, that's why not just not killing, it comes under not harming any beings. So it's not a training ground anymore, but it's a path that you have to follow, the path that you have observed, the path that you have taken on board. That's why it's called Eightfold Noble Path. And similarly, with the second precept, which is the stealing, or it's called Ajinna Dana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami, which means I observe the training of not taking which is not given. And here in the Eightfold Noble Path, the second component is not I am training not to take what is not given, or I'm not taking, or I'm not stealing. But here in the second component of the Eightfold Noble Path, this right action is I am not stealing. So it's definitely that you are taking this precept on board, that you are not taking at all. Doesn't matter how small that is. That's why in the Vinaya, the bhikkhu or monk's rules, that there is a certain amount that if you have taken it away, then regarded as great offense. More than 5 masakas, probably about 5 pounds. Equivalent of about 5 pounds, if a monk takes away, then that is a great offense. Further on, if one has got the intention to take it away, the object which someone has left somewhere, and in the intention to hide it for own benefit, then also taken as the offense. Because this comes under the Eightfold Noble Path. So once you have taken this, then that means you are not going to take anything which is not given to you at all. And the third is about the sexual misconduct. Now here, sexual misconduct, or for the householders, it is a sexual misconduct. It's called kame sumichachara. observe the training to abstain from having any sexual misconducts. So that's for the householder. Whereas for someone who has given up the household and joined the monastics, or even just went to the temple to observe the spiritual path, then one has to observe. It's called abrahmacharya veramani. So that means the complete secluded from any sexual relationship at all. Basically, giving up. That's why even in the suttas, you can see that the Buddha clearly defined two parts in this section. So Buddha said, one is the panatipata virati, and another one is abrahmacharya practice. So the two different factors there to practice. And this is again, it's strongly, it's not just for the monks or the monastics, but also once someone has taken a path to follow the Buddha's advice, then one has to take it on board and practice properly. And that's why these three components comes under the right action. And now in this right action, when we look at closely, what we can see that Buddha was simply giving us the authority to make it happen into the right or the wrong. Yeah, it's up to us that what we do, we ripen we will get the result of the action that we perform, and no one else. And the reason this these three precepts or three actions that the Buddha laid down is not because Buddha has invented it, but this was already there. He simply formalized and taken it as a path or action that one has to follow. And these ethics are again as not like a commandments that one has to practice in a basic term, but if someone would like to get the progress in the spiritual path, these are really, really important grounds. So these will help one to grow in the spiritual path. Someone may say that I do not kill, I do not harm anyone, as long as they haven't come across. Yeah? And we can observe from the people's behavior. Sometimes when people see little animals, immediately, without having any compassion or kindness, the mind immediately turns into the cruelty or stepping on or hitting. Whereas there are plenty of people, those who show this kindness and compassion, as soon as they see even how little that creature is, that demonstrate the compassion and kindness and far away from the cruelty. And these are the illustration of someone who has got the kindness, and that lays the path to the spiritual growth. I remember after many years of being a monk and never come across with any form of a death, particularly the animal's death, in 2005 when I was in Wolverhampton, one day in the afternoon, one car hit a cat and dead on the spot. And and I didn't know which car and didn't know who did it, but somehow that cat was left in front of the center. The very moment when I saw that cat, I wanted to grab, and then I wanted to take it. But the mind was so crying that who did this, and how poor this animal is. This animal doesn't know anything. And I feel so unhappy, so sad to him, sad to this animal, this cat. So I use a piece of a cloth, and I took on the cloth and take it to the back garden, and I buried this little cat at the back garden. But little did I know that that cat belongs to someone. And I didn't know that, and we have to inform to someone. And then later, a couple of days later, I saw there was a poster going around looking for this cat. I was in a dilemma whether should I call or should I not. And I had a fear at that time that if I tell them, then they may not believe me, because I just came to UK and I didn't know much about the rules and regulations. So they probably think that I have killed this cat and buried back garden. So I left silent. That was not the kind to them, the family, those who lost the cat. But I hope they got by. But I did chant it to this cat. I was so unhappy to see the cat was killed. And meanwhile, over the time, I have checked my mind so much to myself, and I test myself that how much I can come close to the cruelty, and how much I can bear the cruelty of others. And this is my challenge that I have been practicing almost every day. Anything that happens, I check my mind and be mindful, become mindful of it. And then there are moments when I was in the city, Aberdeen, and there was a seagulls nestling over the roof, and one baby seagull was fall down, and a mother seagull was just roaming around, and whoever come closer, it will just poo at you, and they were so precise pooing on you. And this happened to me. And then the second time, after I got into the center, I slowly give a water, and then I slowly gave some food, and gradually with that, a couple of times a mother seagull was attacking me, pooing me, and I was just escaping, but I gave food to this little baby seagull. But later on, probably mother seagull understood that I am there not to harm this baby. And then later, when I went to give another water, the seagull didn't come. So I was able to go out in the middle of our small garden and give water and food. So that's how you can overcome even how angry this seagull was, with the kindness. Similarly, there was one time one blind rabbit was around and was about dying, and I took it inside the center, but that wasn't the wise. Little did I know, although rabbit was blind, it can eat all the flowers that was inside the garden, inside our shrine room. So it was mumbling all the rabbit eating all the flowers and the plants at the center. And the next day, I was told that this rabbit has a disease, and we shouldn't come close to it. And I put it outside, and I thought that one of the fox foxes that normally roam around the center took that rabbit away. But another couple of days later, a couple of children came, about 3 or 4 children along with one lady came and was searching for the rabbit, and they thought that I kept the rabbit because I posted on a Facebook. So they came, and rather than thanking me, they were like shouting, and they were like causing a trouble. And I said, sorry, I cannot help you, it's already gone, like that. So these are the ways to check. And even here at the center in West Hill, since we got the center and we live in a farm, we have to face so many animals at all the time, different creatures, different insects at all the time. And there was a moment that we had a rat inside the house, roaming around, and so much. And then I asked around, and people were suggesting me different forms of ways to eliminate the cat. And rat. And later on I couldn't keep it going on, so it was growing and growing, so I had to call the what's called pest control, and they came and put the something around the areas and took them away. I believe they killed them, but what can I do? I have to protect. And meanwhile, this year, early this year, we had as well, but we didn't call. I went around and just looked at the holes, and I just closed that hole, and that's how it was just ran away. And Ajahn Pira was wise enough to make a homemade trap for the rats, and Ajahn Pira caught a couple of rats and take it to the garden. I hope they will not come back again, but we live in a farm, and we don't have any animals. We don't have a cat or a dog, so obviously we have to face these, so like that. And you can also check yourself too in your day-to-day life, that when you see the creatures, how would you deal with it? And then when you are dealing with it, how much the kindness and compassion you have, or how much cruelty and angry you were. So in that moment, when you become mindful of and paying attention to your thoughts, that defines whether you are doing right action or not. So that's why there is a saying that it is not that how much you know what is right and what is wrong, but it is judged by how you react to it, or the action that you have taken. So with this, it counts, not what you know, but your action. So that's why there is a saying that action counts, not what you know, that counts. Okay, so I end here for tonight, and on this first components of the right action, which is not killing. And thank you everyone for all your messages and concerns, and I'm getting better, and a few moments I will get the rest as well, and then possibly we'll see you again tomorrow. Until then, thank you very much. Tonight's meditation, I won't be here. Ajahn Pira will be leading for the evening meditation. Until then, thank you very much, and may you all be well and happy, and may the Buddha Dhamma Sangha bless you, and we'll see you tomorrow. And don't forget to join with Ajahn Pira for the chanting and guided meditation. Thank you.